comes the sun. Do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun.
Hey everybody, it's Father Edward Looney here, and I am back at you with 5 things this week. I just returned from my time away in England, and I want to share 5 things. Last week I shared 5 things I was looking forward to. Now I want to do 5 post-reflections about my time in England. And so the first one I'd say is that I was really surprised by what God had in store for me. I was surprised by the way different things unfolded and happened. Here's one story. That when we were looking for a place to say Mass on September 14th, it was the Feast of the Holy Cross, and it just didn't seem right to say Mass at the house that I was staying at. I wanted to say it at a church. So my friend and I were going to this town, and we thought, let's just randomly call this parish priest and see if he would let us celebrate Mass at one of the altars there. And we called him. He said yes, told us this is the time you should come, so we went. And what we found out was that the church was called Holy Rood. And Rood in Old English is cross, so it was Holy Cross Church. It was their feast day. So that was a surprise that we were able to offer Mass in this church on that special day. Kind of another little surprise was being in Canterbury. And we said Mass at the Catholic Church in Canterbury. And it was their dedication day. So when the bishop came so many years ago, dedicated the church, put chrism oil on the walls, blessed the church. So just surprised by the different opportunities that were presented during this time. The second thing I would say is that I really enjoyed the prayerful component of it. Of course, I'm a priest. I went on vacation, but it was also really a pilgrimage to holy sites. So prayer was a part of it. I was grateful for the moments of prayer at the Tyburn Convent, where so many people had given their lives just down the road out of witness for their faith. I was prayerful at the Westminster Cathedral and able really to enter into prayer. I loved their image of Our Lady. Even at Westminster Abbey, so busy, not really a prayerful space, but I loved their Lady Chapel, where the image of Our Lady was, and I was enraptured by the beauty of that image and prayed the rosary there. So I was really moved by prayer. Even this Rosary Basilica that I visited, or Rosary Shrine, actually, not a basilica, but in London, the 15 different altars in that church with the images of the rosary, carvings that they had, able to pray the rosary there, and how moving it was. The third thing about my visit was just really my great appreciation for the village of Canterbury. Canterbury is really the seat of Anglicanism, so we often hear about the Archbishop of Canterbury. Right now it's Justin Welby. Before it was Rowan Williams. So sometimes we might know those names. And I just really loved the little town. I loved the Cathedral of Canterbury, even though it's no longer in the possession of the Catholics. The Church of St. Thomas of Canterbury was very beautiful. I really loved the old feeling that was there in Canterbury. So that was very special. I just love little old towns. I love going to St. Augustine, Florida, for example. And so going into Canterbury was kind of like going for me to St. Augustine. So that's the third thing. I was just really surprised that I liked Canterbury so much. I highly recommend, if you go to England, you have to go to Canterbury. The fourth thing is Our Lady of Walsingham. And I'll have a video coming out on my main page here at the end of the week. And her feast day, September 24th, I started praying a novena to Our Lady of Walsingham right during the trip. So I didn't know much about her. I didn't know the story of the apparition. I didn't know the story of the shrine. But I went to Walsingham and was so impressed by the story. And to see really kind of Anglicans and Catholics getting along together wanting to have devotion to Our Lady of Walsingham. That was very powerful. That there was the Anglican shrine, there was the Roman Catholic shrine. The story was very moving, very touching. The story, just quite simply, was Mary came to this visionary Rakeldis, asked Rakeldis to build the house of Nazareth, gave her the dimensions, a replica in the city of Walsingham. It's known as England's Nazareth. And so she does that. But really, when I was there, I felt like I was in the home of Our Lady. I was asking Our Lady to come into my home, which is the home of my heart. So Our Lady of Walsingham was just a very beautiful experience. And then lastly, maybe number 5, just kind of growing in my knowledge of English history. I haven't been one of these people that follows the crown. I don't know the history all that well, except what you learn in school. But even I learned so much about King Henry VIII, who of course splits with Roman Catholicism over marriage and that issue because he wanted to remarry. He wasn't having a male heir to the throne. So to see the dissolution of these monasteries and so forth just troubled me a little bit, but it gave me an understanding of that little history in world history and in religious history as well. So those are 5 things, 5 takeaways. I'm sure I could have said a lot more, but just a few reflections. I'm very happy, though, to be back here in Shawnee. It was great to say Mass at the parish church, to have the school children there this morning, and really excited about what the future will bring in the next several months. I'll only be away for October, I know of, for 3 days. The Diocese of Green Bay has their clergy congress every October, so it's 3 days, only in Manitowoc, not that far. But we all gather together as priests of the area to hear talks and to share in camaraderie and friendship as well. So that's the only time I anticipate being away for the next several months. Of course, something might come up last minute, but as of right now, no extended time away. So I look forward to just being with all of you in the next weeks and months ahead, praying with you and celebrating the sacraments and continuing to get to know you and your families all the more. Thanks so much. God bless.